This morning, Real Madrid enters the third round of the 2024-2015 La Liga season with the goal of nothing but a winning season to continue chasing the great rival Barcelona in the rankings. But perhaps after the recent match, Coach Carlos Ancelotti will understand that he will still have a lot of work to do in the context that Los Blancos' system is not yet complete for the new season, and Kylian Mbappé has not been able to score. If the story in La Liga is still unresolved, both Real Madrid and Barcelona will definitely start to have their own calculations in the Champions League arena, where it will hide a lot of traps for both teams after the draw ceremony for the new season takes place. With the new format of Europe's top flight this season, each team will have at least 8 matches instead of 6 as before, and the draw will be conducted completely randomly based on the computer of the semi-organization. And with the first time being conducted in a new format, a former Real Madrid man had the honor of becoming the one who suddenly pressed the button to select the attractive heads of this season's Champions League, namely Cristiano Ronaldo. The hands of the Portuguese legend have helped Charles Blancos select 8 opponents in the league phase, including Dortmund, Liverpool, AC Milan, Atlanta, Abitzinsburg, Lille, Stuttgart, along with the press. Meanwhile, the 8 opponents that Barcelona must face in the league stage of the 2024-2025 Champions League will be Bayern Munich, Atlanta, Young Boys, Brest, Dortmund, Benfica, Monaco, along with Red Star Belgrade. In general, it will be difficult to judge which team can draw easier tickets for themselves. Because with this new format, the opportunity will be divided equally among all teams when the number of away and home matches will be evenly distributed. However, there will be matches where you are lucky to play against strong opponents at home, but will also be able to face the big guys away from home. That's why the traps will always be tight for every team at this time. As for how dangerous it is, we will definitely need to go into detail to understand it better. First, for Real Madrid, the 2 opponents in the number 1 seed group that Los Blancos will have to face in the Champions League this time are Borussia Dortmund along with Liverpool. First of all, having to face the team that Carlo Ancelotti just beat in the C1 final last season, Dortmund, can be considered an extremely interesting prospect to take place this season. The biggest difference is probably the fact that this match was played at Real Madrid's Santiago Bernabéu rather than a neutral stadium like in last year's final. Moreover, the presence of Kylian Mbappé will theoretically make every team apprehensive, and certainly sad is no exception. However, in fact, the French superstar's achievement when facing representatives of the Bundesliga is not too impressive when after 8 matches, Mbappé won 4 but also lost 3 times. At the moment, Kylian Mbappé has not even opened his own account in the La Liga arena, and that will certainly be a not simple problem that Carlo Ancelotti needs to solve soon. However, what was shown in the final a few months ago, Real Madrid is predicted not to face too many difficulties when welcoming Dortmund on its holy land in the league phase stage this season. Then, when seeing the second opponent that Los Blancos has to face in the number 1 seed group, Madridistas will certainly need to feel more or less worried. Meeting Liverpool was not an easy task. Real had to march to Anfield to look for a chance to win against this debt opponent. In fact, the COP in recent years has not had any good results against the Spanish royal team in the Champions League when the last time they won Real was in the 2008-2009 season. However, at the moment, Liverpool has a new coach, Arne Slot, and no one can guarantee that Real Madrid can continue to maintain stability in the C1 arena this year. Anfield has never been good for Spanish teams, with Barcelona as a prime example. And Real Madrid's visit to the blind this time is certainly not an easy journey for the champions. After the opponents in the number 1 Habdong group, Real and AC Milan will create a nostalgic confrontation. This can be considered one of the most balanced confrontations in the history of the Champions League in terms of head-to-head record, when each team has 6 wins and a total of 3 draws. However, the last time the 2 teams met each other in the Continental Arena was more than a decade ago in the 2011 season when the 2 were in the same group. Therefore, the graveyard has even more reason to look forward to the attractiveness of the encounter between AC Milan and Real at Santiago Bernabéu here. After the aforementioned giants, Real Madrid will also meet the opponent they just defeated in the European Super Cup not long ago, Atlanta. However, Representatives of Serie A along with the rest of the names such as Lille or Salzburg will hardly be names that can hinder Real on the journey to earn points to be in the top 8 teams after the League One stage. When the Madridista cap can temporarily try in, because he does not have to face a tough moment, Cuculis will definitely start to feel nervous when looking at Barcelona's opponents in the Champions League this time. The opponent that Sunken fans do not expect the most is undoubtedly Bayern Munich, and the giant of German football has really become one of the barriers on the journey to regain the status of the Blaugrana. In the 13 times they have faced each other in the history of the tournament, Barca has only won 2 times against Bayern and has lost 10 times. It is even more haunting for the Gules when they have been defeated by the Allianz Arena in 6 consecutive matches, including the horror at Camp Nou itself with a score of 28. Perhaps fans of the Catalan Giants only know why they let Rondo press the button to choose their own opponent this season. When even if Bayern is welcomed at home, there is no guarantee for Barca a good result. A rare bright spot for the Blaugrana at this time is the fact that Hansi Flick used to be the captain of Bayern itself, and they will hope to find a way to overcome this team from the German teacher. In addition, one of the things Barca has in common with Real will be to face Dortmund in this year's Champions League. The interesting point is that Barca and the defending 11 have only had 2 encounters in the Champions League, and Barca is the team with 1 win and 1 draw. Having to face the top 2 giants of German football this season will also be a challenge to accurately assess the strength of Hazard Flick, who will certainly know the Bundesliga better than anyone. Therefore, this is predicted to be a match with many interesting surprises. Atlanta will also be an unknown for the Blaugrana themselves at the moment, and this will also be a common point between the 2 giants of Spanish football this season. In general, except for Bayern Munich, Barcelona under new captain Hansi Flick is having opponents who can be considered suitable for the ambition of reaching the top 8 teams of the league phase. Tan Manfred's other team, Atletico Madrid, has also given themselves opponents who can help them feel confident in their journey in this year's Champions League, including Leipzig, PSG, Bayer Leverkusen, Benfica, Lille, Salzburg, Sparta Prague and Slovan Bratislava. With their strength, the giants of the Badit department can be completely confident in entering the top 8 teams in the league phase. This will help both Barca, Real or Atletico avoid having to spend more energy in 2 playoffs for teams inside and outside the top 8. When the 2024-2015 season is predicted to be extremely fierce in both the domestic and continental arenas. If a team that is facing many difficulties in terms of forces like Barcelona is having a winning record in La Liga to slash at the top, on the opposite side, both Madrid giants with strong additions in terms of forces last summer are facing certain uncertainties in terms of performance. That is the reason why the chances of the giants in La Liga and the Champions League this season are hiding more big changes than ever. And certainly, Nia Emo is counting down day by day for the first match on the most prestigious European playground in the 2024-2015 season.